Welcome back to the Cricket Today podcast. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy, also known as an absolutely gutted guy after the Aussies didn't make it through to the next stage of the T20 World Cup 2024. I'm your host, but my co-host is nowhere to be seen. Where is Marcus Bazzano? He's probably angry that Australia didn't get through. Where is he? Where the hell is he? Oh my God, what is that? Jesus. Oh my God. He's a bit aggressive. Are you right, Marcus? Are you right? Look how angry he is.
I'm angry.
He stuffed up the set. He's going to make Gerald angry.
Sorry, Gerald.
Are you all good, mate?
Who likes cricket? It's a crap sport.
Oh, the Aussie in him is not happy at all. T20 World Cup mayhem this morning and today. It's gone all day. Australia obviously losing to India, didn't progress. Bangladesh couldn't beat Afghanistan in some crazy fashion. So much happened in that game that we're going to talk about. This is the main game we're going to talk about.
Unreal game.
Marcus and I are very frustrated, as you can see by Marcus over there. You're not feeling good?
No, but
we're going to do a show.
I know, and we've been awake since 3 a.m. and then we've had to stay all the way in the office until 3:30 in the afternoon to watch that.
To watch Bangladesh lose.
It's a joke.
Oh, it is a joke. But we're gonna have a bit of fun on this. I'm already having a lot of fun. You've got me up and about again for this show.
Let's do it.
So T20 World Cup fever. We're gonna have some news, a yeah/nah question as always, which will excite some Indian fans. Some game wraps throughout the Super 8, the last two Super 8 games, which were absolute chaos. So let's get right into it, mate.
Let's do it.
But actually, before I say that, we're road to 1,000 on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that. I think we're almost at 900 subscribers on that, so we're getting very excited on there. Check out our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X. That's Cricket Today AU as well. So make sure you get around all the socials. Oh, deep breath.
Here we
deep
go.
breath. News.
Let's do some lighter stuff before we get into
lighter stuff. Unfortunately, Australia didn't make it through. The four teams that have made
light. I said light. Stats guy. Come on.
I've literally got everything in the run sheet. It's just aggressive stuff.
Yeah. So England.
I'll give it to you. You can say who's progressed. The four teams that have progressed to the semi-final of the T20 World Cup.
Jonathan Trott's cheats Afghanistan. Jonathan Trott's former cheats England. India and South Africa.
Yeah. So if you didn't get that, England, India, Afghanistan and South Africa have progressed. This is a crazy show and I'm absolutely loving it. Talking about a few other things in the news. An awesome stat, which I don't do enough of, being the stats guy. Muhammad Nabi, the president, is his nickname that plays for Afghanistan. He's 38 or 39, just been doing it for ages for Afghanistan. He has played in every Afghanistan cricket game of all time and he's beaten 45 nations, 45 different countries. I didn't even know there was 45 countries that played cricket.
That's unreal. Like, he's even played in Jersey.
Yeah.
That is like, what?
What's it? China?
He's played in the Maldives.
Yeah.
Unreal.
To be fair, he'd have a pretty fun life. He'd get to travel around the world. 45 different countries.
Yeah, exactly. And he plays a lot of short format cricket and he makes a lot of dough too. So good on him. He's living the life.
He's a Renegades legend, actually. He did a lot for the Renegades. Another one, we're just on that. Everything in this is going to be about Afghanistan. Yeah. One of the funniest things that happened in this whole tournament.
Hilarious.
Rashid Khan throws his bat at his teammate after he didn't run back for two, gave him a greasy, grabs the bat, snatches it off him, and then follows up with hitting the biggest six of the tournament, 100 meter six out of the ground.
Just how I threw the bat just then was how Rashid Khan chucked it at his striking partner for not coming back for the second run in the final over.
Very funny.
I also forgot to mention Jonathan Trott is also South African born, so
he's not even really English, like all their team.
Yep. So 3 out of the 4 nations there are Jonathan Trott infected.
Yes. Talking about Jonathan Trott, the coach of Afghanistan, probably the biggest scandal we've seen in cricket in a long time, maybe since the Sandpaper Gate. Which Australia, we don't like talking about it because we obviously cheated. But I'm going to classify this as cheating. I don't know if everyone would. Do you want to explain it, Marcus? You have your head around it a little bit more than me. What Afghanistan did to try and get over the line against Bangladesh?
Bangladesh needed 2 more runs with 2 balls remaining to get ahead of the DLS Duckworth-Lewis system run method. Yep. So there was only 2 balls left in the over. The rain was coming. They only needed 2 runs. Jonathan Trott, Afghanistan's coach, saw the rain coming and told the Afghanistan players to go down and fake an injury so they could put the covers on and win the game that they thought they wouldn't come back onto the ground. Obviously, they did come back onto the ground. So, in all fairness, that put a lot of spotlight away from them. Yep.
But, Gulbert,
but the fact that it happened.
Talk about the guy that actually went down.
Yeah.
Gulbert went down way too. He's standing at slip. You cannot possibly do a hammy from just standing. So that is a joke.
Slip.
Maybe at least go for a jog and pretend you've done your hammy. Yeah. Like, he's not, mustn't have faked too many injuries.
And then he had the best physio in the world.
Yeah.
The best rub down. Honestly,
Mr. Miyagi.
Give me a rub down like that, please. because he's come on and he's just bowled 2 overs or 3 overs.
Oh, one for not much.
Yeah, 1 for 5 off 2 overs, 1 for 7 off 2 overs.
So obviously his hammy was fine. And that's blatant cheating. Yeah. And although we loved Afghanistan this whole tournament, Rashid Khan even said, get up. I respect the leader, the captain, Rashid Khan. Didn't like what the coach did.
And Leighton Das, the batsman for Bangladesh, walking off the ground with a rain delay, faked a hammy, which was kind of comedic.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Anyway, that is just a little snippet of what's to come on this show. I feel like this is
we haven't done any game wraps. No, We
don't even know where we are right now. This is just, we're just on top of the world, maybe not on top of the world. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if my eyes twitching because I'm tired or if I'm angry.
Or excited or everything. Oh. Italy got through this morning in the Euros at least.
They did. Check that out on Football Today socials. Yeah. Some good scenes.
All right. Bit more positive. This one's for Indian fans. Getting away from Afghanistan for now. I've got a nah.
Yep.
Because we've talked up India. I think they're the best chance.
Yep.
No one is stopping India in this tournament. Nah.
Nah.
Ooh.
I think
someone can.
India will definitely make it to the final. Pencil them in now because I don't really see England beating them, in all honesty. And that's not even bias. I just think England's batting compared to India's bowling is just too big of a difference there to sway them. And Virat Kohli hasn't even really made any runs yet.
Virat Kohli's not making runs, and that's why I'm saying I think no one is stopping.
Well, the thing is, then comes India's record in finals.
Yes.
I think South Africa can beat India. I'm not sure if Afghanistan can beat India though.
Okay.
But I think South Africa have the capability to do it.
Are they the only 2 undefeated teams now? South Africa and India? Yes, they are.
Yep. Obviously, South Africa have won all their games. India had a no result. But other than that, they won all their games.
Undefeated,
Yeah, credit to them.
So I'm gonna say, I think they're going to go all the way. I know that they don't perform in the big tournaments, but all of their bowlers are firing. I know their batters, you got Rohit Sharma that made a 92 this morning, but even their batters have been a little bit off. Kohli has been off. You got Arshdeep Singh, you've got Kuldeep Yadav, you've got Jasprit Bumrah. They're just sharing the wickets every game. And they look unstoppable at the moment. So
they look really good.
I'm going to go, no one is stopping them. All right, another deep breath. All right, game wraps. Super 8, the final 2 games. Sadly, we're going to talk about India versus Australia. India, 205 for 5, put up a really, really strong score. You've had Rohit Sharma hit 92 or 41. He got a man of the match performance. That was just so classy from him. Australia, sadly for us, 181 for 7. India win by 24 runs. What did you see in this one, Marcus?
Yeah, look, well, obviously we were asleep for a big part of it because we had to wake up at 3 a.m.
We were.
But
you weren't.
We caught the end of the match.
Yes.
We caught the end of the match, the Australian batting innings. And look, Rohit Sharma's a freak. He's up there in the top 10 or 7 for most sixes by a player ever in international cricket.
Yeah, we probably have to talk him up as one of the greatest batsmen of all time because all formats he makes big scores.
Is he underrated as one of the best Indian batsmen of all time?
Probably. You've got obviously Tendulkar,
Indian openers.
Kohli. Oh, Indian openers, yeah.
He's well in the discussion.
Yeah,
he's been great.
I'll go with that.
Virat Kohli, obviously, he's only made 5 runs in the original group stage. Then he made a 20-odd and another 20-odd in the first 2 Super 8s. And then
what did he make?
Got out for a duck.
He got out for another duck.
Josh Hazlewood took the wicket, caught by Tim David. But Sky Yadav was important, coming in 31 of 16, a strike rate of 193.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's classic from him. But from the Aussie point of view,
bowling was just disappointing, I think.
Josh Hazlewood was great. 1 for 14 or 4, economy of 3.5. Every other Australian bowler had an economy of 10 or more.
I haven't got the scores up. Was Stark really off as well, which is rare for him in the big matches.
Stark 2 for 45. Pat Cummins, none for 48.
That is very rare from Pat. He's usually very economical.
Zampa, none for 41. And Stoinis, 2 for 56.
2 for 56?
Yeah, unreal. So they got smacked around a little bit by Rohit Sharma. But Australia, Travis Head gave us sort of a lifeline.
He got us in the game, didn't he? Yeah. 76 off 43 for Trav Ball.
Yep, 9 fours, 4 sixes. So he was great. Mitch Marsh put together a good partnership. But how about the catch to get Mitch Marsh out?
Probably the catch of the tournament. One-hander on the boundary.
Yeah, unreal. Going back with the flight sort of. Which is why don't just stay on the boundary? I don't get it. Come 10 meters.
That's happened a lot in this tournament where those 3/4 fielders, it never works. You can always run in and get a catch. So I don't know what they're doing with that.
Anyways, Glenn Maxwell came in and he started really well. He started really well. I think it was like 18 off 8. And then he went down the pitch to one he probably shouldn't have at a time risky, he didn't. And Sky Yadav bowled him with a googly. And then Australia's middle to late order just weren't good enough.
No.
Tim David was poor. Stoinis was poor. Matty Wade, he was only in for 2 balls, but sort of life was made tough for him when he needed to go at 12 and over. So, poor again from Australia and they're out of the tournament.
Yeah, India look like the best team. Aussies are out. I can't believe we're saying that. At one point we were saying they're going to go undefeated. They were the favourites for the whole thing. sadly, as Aussies, they're out. India look like the best team. And the Aussies also wanted Bangladesh to win. You shouldn't have to rely on that. We lost 2 of our 3 Super 8 games. So in no way did the Aussies deserve to make it through. That's really poor in the second group stage.
Like, it was all jokes and fun with Afghanistan cheated and we're all like really angry because they cheated.
But Afghanistan were the much better team.
Yeah, throughout the tournament, Afghanistan were the better team than Australia. And if you lose 2 of your 3 Super 8 games, you don't deserve to make it through, which in the case of Australia, it was. So
agree.
Better side went through. So Afghanistan play against South Africa and India, England. So that should be exciting.
All right, the next one, the most chaotic game of cricket I've ever watched.
How long did it go for?
It went for 4.5 hours.
Unreal.
When a game usually goes for 3. It usually goes for 3 hours. There was 62 rain delays.
Oh, God.
62 reviews.
And not 62 2-minute rain delays.
It felt like
Come
62.
on, put the hessian on, come straight back off.
Oh, my God. Even Gerald, Olivia, people that don't even really like cricket were locked into this game because Australia needed Bangladesh to win. So I'll start it off. Afghanistan were 115 for 5. Bangladesh did really, really well to
with the ball. That was
with the ball to only concede 115 runs in their 20 overs. Then Bangladesh couldn't get the job done. It was agonizingly close. They needed 114 with the refigured DLS score. They got to 105, lose by 8 runs in the 18th over. Absolutely guttering that Afghanistan won. So much happened in this game. It was actually ridiculous.
Well, you could probably put it down. Bangladesh bowled 8 wides.
Oh, okay.
And Afghanistan won by 8 runs.
That's a good call, actually.
So,
I didn't think about that.
You know, that's not great from a Bangladesh point of view, even though their bowling was superb to keep it to 115. There's probably an area where they need to work on a little bit. But yeah, Leighton Das was unreal.
Almost. Did he carry his bat in?
Yeah, carried his bat.
Carrying your bat in T20 cricket is so hard to do. So what did he have?
54, 49.
54 or 49.
It was just the anchor throughout the whole innings, and
no one else in his whole team made more than 14.
That's unreal. If you look at
4 ducks.
The bottom 5 made 6, 0, 3, 2, and 0.
That's cost them the game.
It cost them the game.
If one of those guys, like Mahmudullah, for example, he's a decent batter. If he just made 10 more runs, they would have won. Or 8 more runs.
The most economical bowler was Gulbadin, who survived the biggest stage 4 hamstring tear. So credit to him for going back out there. Such a brave soldier.
Gulbadin he's going to be, no, actually, I won't say that. Everyone in Australia does not like Gulbadin anymore.
I get, whose fault is it? We had a bit of an argument about this. Is it Jonathan Trott, the Afghanistan's captain's fault? Or is it Gulbadin's fault for actually going down? And
for example, if that coach said to you to do that, would you do that? I don't think you would.
Yeah, no, but
and if he
it's easy to say at the time.
If he was looking at Rashid Khan, their captain, right in the eyes to do that, I reckon Rashid Khan would have done as well.
Rashid Khan
said get up. Yeah. So I think it still comes down to the player and the coach. The fact that the coach even thought of doing that, I don't know. That's just, if you want to go through a World Cup and doing that, well, you do you, but that's just a horrible way of doing it. And it's not a good look from your coach. Because I reckon there's half that Afghanistan team are going into the rooms. They won fair and square in the end. Don't get me wrong. But they're going in the rooms looking at their coach going, oh, that's not a good look. I don't respect you as much.
Yeah, I think DJ Bravo was a little bit.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
On board either.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
But look, and it's just a bad look on the country as a whole because everyone wanted to see Afghanistan do really well in this tournament because they did so well. And now people are going to hate on them, even as Australians, we wanted them to do well. But now that happened, we're like, do we want them to win now?
Yeah. I sort of still want them to win because all the other countries that are in have won things before.
The only other team that I want to win is probably South Africa.
Yeah, we don't like England or India in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
But South Africa as well, we've had big finals against them. So I'm still leaning towards Afghanistan to go for, but it is a tough one. Yeah.
Talking about Rashid Khan and his
we haven't talked about the aeroplane celebration.
How good was he with the ball? 4 for 23 off his 4 overs. He was on a hat trick at one point?
He was, yeah.
So he was superb captaincy with the ball. He knows when to bring himself on. He brings himself on in the easiest overs, straight after the power play. He knows what he's doing.
Got 4 wickets.
He's a captain. He can do what he wants.
Exactly.
But he was superb. Even though Noor Ahmed didn't take any wickets, he only went at 3.25 and over.
He could spin it a mile. Rashid Khan wasn't spinning it that much. Noor Ahmed was just spinning it a mile. We didn't talk about Gurbaz as well. He was awesome. He's been awesome throughout the whole tournament. Probably the most consistent batter throughout the whole tournament, I would say, or one of the most consistent batters. 43 off 55. Obviously, the strike rate isn't good, but he just needed to stay in and get them over that 115 mark or 114 mark, which he did. So Gurbaz was really good for Afghanistan as well. And I think they deserve to go through in the end. If they went through with the fake injury, that would have... I'm actually glad that that's not how the game ended because
100%.
people would have gone absolutely off.
Yeah.
People are still going to go off in the media, but they did deserve to go through in the end.
They did.
Yep.
Correct.
All right, another deep breath. We've gotten through two of the biggest games of cricket in the history of cricket, I'm going to say. Tipping results so far, I feel like we're still even. I reckon we're 36 apiece because we both tipped Afghanistan. Is that right?
35 apiece.
30. Yeah, I don't think it's updated.
36 apiece, yes, because Afghanistan won. Yes,
yeah, so we're both on 36. So it's going to come down to the semis, I reckon.
The semis or the final.
Who are you going to tip? Actually, we'll get into that. Talking about tipping, and before that, I'm just going all over the shop here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Road to 1,000 is still alive. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. Talking about tipping, the semi-finals are here, Marcus. We've got South Africa versus, I don't know why I put a bit of an accent on there. South Africa versus Afghanistan and India versus England. Yes. Huge games. I'm actually more excited for this South Africa versus Afghanistan game because they wouldn't have played each other very often.
An awful lot.
And in such a big game. Because South Africa not often are in these since probably early 2000s, 90s were in these big World Cup games, whereas India and England are always thereabouts.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is such a tough game to predict. Like
South Africa, Afghanistan first.
South Africa probably have the upper hand in terms of batting.
Yep.
Although Gurbaz is in unreal form. Afghanistan obviously have the spinners on probably what looks like to be a spin-friendly deck.
Yep. Noor Ahmed and Rashid Khan.
South Africa have pure pace. This is just going to be great cricket.
Who are you leaning towards?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Well, you got to give me something.
I'll go Afghanistan.
Oh, I was going to go Afghanistan. No, I want to change. Actually, no, I'll stick with Afghanistan. I think your point is spot on. These pitches are keeping low a lot in the West Indies.
Yeah.
Really suited to spinners, and the spinners are much better for Afghanistan. Yes, South Africa might get a few wickets with their pace, but I think later in the innings when a few of the Afghanistan players like Rashid Khan can hit that pace for 6, I'm gonna lean towards Afghanistan, even though I'm still torn if I want to support them or not.
I think spin's just going to get them over the line here.
Yeah. All right. So that's the first one. Both go on Afghanistan, which is very surprising. That's probably the underdog of the 4.
Yeah.
Next one, India versus England, which we're going to do a lot more on our Thursday show. So make sure you check that out.
Yep.
This is another really tough one. Probably the two best squads left in the T20 World Cup in the semi-finals.
Yep.
I'm still leaning towards India. I said before, I think their depth is amazing. Their batting depth is amazing. Kohli's going to have to fire at some point. I think he's not going to go through the whole tournament without making a 50.
He's a big game player, isn't he? Really.
Big game player. And then but England are coming into form at the right time. So it should be really close, I think.
It should. I really don't know what to make of England. I'm so confused because they shouldn't have made it out of the group stage. No. And then they've beat the West Indies on their home deck. Easily. And then this is the sort of games, it's a semi-final, it's a one-off game. All you need is one good innings from one good player, one good over from one good player. And that can completely change the context of the tournament.
Not wrong. Who are you going?
India.
Yeah, I think we're both leaning towards India. Like we said before, the spinners in the West Indies work really well.
Yep.
India have better spinners again, other than Adil Rashid.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I don't know if Jofra Archer and Mark Wood are going to have as big of an impact as some of the other games. Unless it keeps low, like that Afghanistan bowling.
And I feel like India face a lot of similar brute pace to Jofra Archer and Mark Wood with the likes of
Bumrah, Singh,
and obviously they faced Shami in the nets. They faced a lot of Australia, particularly recently in major tournaments and in Test championships.
Yep.
So
all right, both going India.
Yeah, both going India. So that means
I might have to change one of my tips.
Afghanistan India final.
That would be awesome. To be fair,
who are you tipping if? That's the case,
you got to go India. Afghanistan if they make a final.
I'll tip Afghanistan.
Oh,
and you can tip India in the
final.
All
right, there we go.
Yep.
All right, I'm calling it. We've had an absolutely shambolic day, but we've got there eventually.
It stumps.
That is absolute stumps for the Cricket Today show. We'll be back with this on Thursday for a huge semi-final wrap of the South Africa versus Afghanistan game, which is on 10:30 in the morning on Thursday. Hopefully that doesn't go for 4.5 hours like that game. It should only go for 3 or 2. So yeah, get around the show. Send in any questions, any comments. Thank you very much to Joe behind the camera putting up with our antics. Thanks to Olivia on socials. Thanks to Leah for being on the show sometimes.
100%.
And thanks to Marcus.
Thank you, Stats Guy. It's been a long day.
It has been. It's been a great day. Thanks to me, and that's another episode of Cricket Today done. We're out.
If you like this show, make sure you check out all the other shows on the Sports Today network, from the AFL Today show to the Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast, as well as NBA Australia and NFL Australia. With Sports Today, your sporting needs have never been easier to cover.